Okay, we are almost live on Facebook. We may even be live right this second, but it's still loading on my screen. So, excellent. I think we're on. Right. Okay. Very good evening to you all. This is very random. So, first of all, I want to say very good evening to you all. I hope you are having a great week. It's Wednesday night. It's 8 o'clock at night. And some of you would have been with us last Wednesday with me and Ollie, and we did a talk about health and how you can improve it. And it was a very long video because what we did, we met Ollie for the first time. Some of us, we got to hear about his background, how he's kind of got into it, and told us some stories about some of the people he's helped. But what we want to do tonight, and you can probably see to my left or right, you can see a big notice board with the word stress on it in big letters. And what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about how stress can affect your health and the things we can do to avoid stress or limit stress, or get stress under control so we can be a lot healthier. And we've got expert Ollie on who's going to literally jump on screen.
Hey.
That it's like, here's one I made earlier. Ollie's on screen. Okay, so what I want to do now before Ollie starts talking is, if you are watching this live, give us the biggest hello and welcome by typing anything in the comments box. You can put a wave emoji, you can say hi, tell us about what you've been doing with your day today. And if you're watching this back on replay, pop the word replay in the comments box, and please remember to give it a like and hit the share button, because there will be lots of people out there that need to improve their health, and this could be, in fact, I know this is going to be the valuable information that you need. So everybody stay tuned, keep watching. Ollie, I'm going to hand it over to you, mate.
Cool. If you can just go to speaker view, I think it will allow people to see the board a bit better rather than, I think you've got like the tiled view.
Okay, bear with me. I've got share screen. It's not that bit.
Top right, there's like
view.
dots.
Speaker view.
Really,
there we
that's
go.
the one.
You're on,
it
buddy.
Should change it on Facebook that way. Now we're doing this in a different way because I've got my phone here, I've got my screen over there if I want to see Matt, because I realized my actual webcam wouldn't let me put it on the board. So I need to sort that out and get another camera before the actual revitalization blueprint kicks off. But we wanted to do this call because we had a lot of questions off the back of our talk last week about, like, we know we went into a lot of depth and we covered a lot of topics with regards to health and how you can improve your health. And we want to make sure we kind of simplify things and talk about stress as a whole. So we've got the board here all about stress. Now, stress is going to be the thing that impacts so many people's health. And it's the underlying reason for every single disease that happens that has been known to man. It's all been linked with stress at some level. And it's something which we deal with day to day. Now, we need stress in order to help us thrive, but too much stress, chronic stress, is the basis for our health to start declining. And we told you about the revitalization blueprint. We've had multiple signups come through in this last week, which is crazy. It's been a week already, where it's £21 a month. You get a call. We have a call every 2 weeks where we go over loads of topics. But most of these topics are all going to be linked with how we can balance stress on our body in order to allow our bodies to thrive, to start to sleep through the night, to get rid of brain fog, and to allow ourselves to truly start to feel amazing again. Now, a lot of us will put feeling lower on health down to aging, which is the common thing for people to say, but we should not be aging as much as we seem to be as a society. We should be able to have our brains function a lot longer than they actually do before we start losing memory, before we start putting on weight, before we start feeling really, really lethargic and need more and more support around us. But why is that the case? Well, it comes down to having the foundations of health. Now, what we're going to go through every couple of weeks in the revitalization blueprint are those foundations of health. So we're going to go through what you need to eat. We're going to look at what foods are proteins, what are carbohydrates, what are fats, what calories are actually doing, going through these foundations to allow you to start looking at food in a way that allows your body to be energized, to be fueled, and allow you to move forward. So if you're stuck trying to lose weight, this is going to give you the answers of what you actually need to do. The same with if you're not getting enough water in. why do we actually need water? What is it actually doing? And why is water stopping us from actually going to sleep and staying asleep through the night? Why is water stopping us from being able to detoxify? Why is water stopping us, not having enough water, stopping us from losing fat? All these things make a massive difference to our overall health. How much movement do we need? How you can utilize the exercise. So when you're putting in these hard efforts in your exercise classes, in the gym, wherever it is you're doing your training, you actually get the results from them. Because time after time again, I've seen so many people do 1 or 2 classes in a row and really kind of beat themselves up in these classes, like they're doing really great stuff and they're smashing themselves, but they're not getting the results when it comes to when they jump on the scales, and they're not getting the results when it comes to how they feel. So feeling tired, they're feeling like they're always on a diet, feeling like they're always feeling like they're eating low calories, and not being able to really enjoy life. Now, stress comes in different forms, and this is why I've written different forms up on the board. We've got autoimmune conditions, which a lot of people have. I realize I'm going off screen when I look at this. Autoimmune conditions that we have, a lot of people have. We have physical stress, environmental stress, which are very much physical, both of those, and we have emotional stress. But overall, wherever we get this stress from, our body sees stress. This is what it sees. And we have to make sure we balance all these things, both good stress and bad stress. So depending on how stressed we are in certain areas will dictate on how much exercise we could do. Now, a lot of you love your exercise and you're doing it as a community and it's amazing. So we want to keep that in there. So how do we negate the other stress? So we're getting better digestion. And so we're getting better sleep, better recovery, and our brain is working better. Now, some of these conditions that we have, some of you may have some of these when it comes to autoimmune conditions. Now, things like thyroid issues, irritable bowel disease, rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, lupus, MS, Graves' disease, Addison's disease, vasculitis, you may be celiac, you may have Guillain-Barré disease, like hemolytic or pernicious anemia. And these are things which we're going to look into a little bit, not like really on a scientific level, but what we need to do if we have autoimmune conditions. Because so many people that I know of, some of the most common ones, and diabetes I haven't even put in here, but some of the most common ones being thyroid, IBD, and rheumatoid arthritis, we're just getting medicated, and we're getting thyroxine, we're getting different medications for diabetes, we're getting methotrexate for rheumatoid arthritis. And yes, it can have a positive effect if we get the dose right, but we're not being told how we can actually start to thrive, stop those joints from aching all the time when it comes to rheumatoid arthritis, and why our diet actually makes a difference, what gluten is doing, and what we can actually do to improve these things. And can we actually speed up our thyroid that has been hyperactive thyroid? If we've got Hashimoto's thyroiditis, can we speed that back up again with the food we eat, which absolutely is possible? So can we actually start to get our body working better and put these autoimmune conditions into remission, which has happened multiple times where, now I've not told clients to do this, they have to link in with their doctor at the same time, where clients have actually come off medication. And yes, this is more on a one-to-one basis, but we are going to be discussing these things deeper and deeper in the group. And I'm going to be answering questions every couple of weeks as well, and through our membership portal, where you can comment in our messenger group, where you can ask questions that are really going to help you along the way. Then we get into other common things that we don't look at, is looking at the physical stress. So what is your food intake like? So are you getting enough protein in? Are you getting the right carbohydrates, or are you demonizing sugar, thinking that it's this really bad thing, when actually sugar is something we need to function? Are you demonizing fats because you think eating fat is going to make you fat, but actually we're ending up that we're taking fats out and having problems with our hormones? And are we having deficiencies because of the nutrients that we're not getting? Are we getting the right vitamins and minerals, the right vegetables in, the right fruits? Are we getting the right level of exercise, too much or too little? Are we having sleep issues? So how do we actually sleep through the night? It sounds crazy, because sleep should be this thing where we go onto the pillow, we lay our head down, and after 10, 15 minutes, we fall asleep. Some people are literally falling asleep like that, and it shows they're a lot more fatigued than we like to think. Some people are waking up during the night. Some people are waking up in the morning and just feeling just like they just need another 10 hours of sleep. So how do we optimize our sleep? We want to show you how to do that and how to wake up in the right way. So you're not needing coffee. If you have coffee first thing, you potentially could suffer from brain fog and afternoon energy dips as a result. Then,
Ollie, can I just butt in quickly, mate? Sorry, I just want to say something quickly. If you are watching this on Facebook, guys, if you have got any health issues and you're happy to comment below in the comments box and tell us what you're struggling with, we would love to hear from you because, as I said, we'd love to know if you can relate to any of this that Ollie is saying. So any questions you have, any health issues have, feel free to pop them in the comments box. And also what I'd like to ask you very quickly, and this is a little kind of challenge for you, is to rate your health out of 10. So if you think your health is really poor, put the number 1 in the comments box. And if you think your health is really good, put the number 2 in the comments box. And let's hear from everyone watching this. How do you rate your health? Carry on, Ollie.
If you get any comments as well, remember, I can't see Facebook at the moment, so
Not
do pass the comments on if they come through.
Yes.
Then we look at gut health. So are people bloating out? Are we finding that we're like having too much gas? Are we finding that we're just not getting the right digestion? One of the big things that I noticed now, we put this group live ready for our first call next Wednesday on the 3rd of May. Last week, we've done our live and had a sign-up offer that if anyone that signed up before Friday night, they got a free health screening. Now, in those health screenings, we're noticing poor blood glucose management. And also, one of the big things is that a lot of people can't actually eat their food in the morning, which shows to me that there's problems with digestion, digesting the enzymes in our circadian rhythm, our natural body clock. And also, we have a nerve called our vagus nerve, one of our cranial nerves at the base of our brainstem, and it goes down into our gut, into our other organs. And it's what we need to work on, a thing called vagal tone, because this sends messages from our brain down and from our gut up, like a lot, both ways. Now, if there's poor communication there, we're not going to be able to release the enzymes. We're going to notice more reflux. It could be even things like infections going on. One of the most common infections, the most common infection in the world, is a thing called H. pylori. So a lot of times people are looking at getting acid reflux and they think it's high stomach acid. Actually, it's truly more than likely going to be low stomach acid and potentially could have H. pylori. So how do we improve this? How do we see this? And is this impacting our stomach lining? And there's a few little tests we can do. And if we don't have good gut health, we're going to find that we're going to be smashing it with exercise and not able to lose weight. And if we also have certain infections, but what are we doing with these? Are we having viral infections? Now, we're noticing stress, physical stress. Another thing we could put in here is COVID. That when we look at over the last couple of years, a lot of people have seen that they've had COVID and it's then actually exacerbated infections and their viral load has gone through the roof, and now they've got what people are classing as long COVID. Now there's more brain fog. Their nose isn't working as effectively, all these different things. That's when we come into physical stress, which then moves into environmental stress. So we talk about toxins. Now, historically, like I've seen that a lot of women struggle to detox as effectively as guys do. And a lot of guys detox very badly as well, which shows that we have 4 different phases of detoxification: 0, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to go through these and how we can improve all of these in the revitalization blueprint. But we're never going to remove toxins from our life. I've just done a podcast and we spoke about detox and how people do these like 3-day, 7-day fasts, juice fasts, and all these things to help with detox. And a lot of the things in there actually impact detox in a negative way. And if we're having these fasts and things, why do we have to do them so regularly for detoxification? Shouldn't our body, our liver, our kidneys, our hepatic system actually do this with the food we eat? Absolutely should. And if we're getting good sleep and we've got good gut health and we've got low infections and we've got the right food intake, our body will detoxify pretty effectively and as a result, we get good hormonal balance. So diesel fumes are going to be impacting our toxins, our detox systems, pesticides, additives in food, mold, and plastics. Plastics are a big thing when we look at food. This isn't to demonize like all the things like plastics, but BPA is an additive on foods. And if we look at where it is, that gets into our body. Now, another thing we need to put on here is perfumes, deodorants, moisturizer. So these plastics, and they've got BPAs on there. When we go to coffee shops and we have a plastic lid and we drink through it, we're putting these toxins into our system. Now, if we're not getting good detoxification, how do we stop that? Well, we look at cutting off from the toxins to help reduce the load. Perfumes have a lot of toxins in them. So can we get some less toxic perfumes, deodorants, moisturizers? Our skin is an organ. A lot of people forget this, and what we put on our skin gets absorbed into our body. Now, I see people where having psoriasis issues, having skin flare-ups, eczema as well should be on there, and they're having dry skin. I saw someone on Facebook today that was saying that I'm tired of putting moisturizer on my skin. What can I do for my hands? Well, actually, your skin is a reflection of what's going on in your gut. Now, if I have rubbish food, I will flare up with loads of spots. I'm very reactive with that. I've said about I have a reaction to gluten where I have migraines, but that also shows up on my skin. So it's definitely something where we have to look at these. Now, you're not going to stop having perfumes or deodorants or stop putting moisturizer on. You're not going to stop having coffees. You're not going to stop mold exposure. You're not going to stop complete additives in food. You're not going to stop having pesticides, especially living in where we live in Norfolk. You're not going to stop diesel fumes. So how do we improve this? We reduce stress elsewhere, and we improve detoxification systems. So
I
it's
love
very
that, Ollie, what
important.
you just said. Sorry to butt in, mate. I love
All
what you
good,
just
all
said
good.
there. I think that's great.
It's understanding that, yes, we can improve some of our exposure to it. Absolutely, we can get air filters. We can look at not having those coffees, take the lids off the coffee, those sorts of stuff. The same with perfumes, get more natural perfumes and stuff, but natural deodorants. Well, a lot of natural deodorants just make you smell natural. So is that a good thing? May not be in some people, but this is a massive impact. Emotional stress, which a lot of people take out of the equation. We have the autoimmune conditions, we have the physical and environmental stresses, but the emotional stresses, I think this is probably like the biggest thing going on with everyone at the moment. And it's something I've dealt a lot with, and I want to dive into so much into the revitalization blueprint, that we talk about this and have a community where we can be open with each other, a non-judgmental community, talk about what's going on. But no, you don't have to go deep. It isn't a counseling side of things, but we want to understand why we go through these actual stress reactions. We have our limbic system, different areas of the brain that a lot of people naturally defaults to stress. Now, if we want to re-regulate our limbic system, we can stop our default anxiety, our default stress, our default lower moods, our default worry mind that comes on. Now, we look at emotional stress. People underestimate what romantic relationships are doing for your stress. Not to say stop romantic relationships, as in like, how do we understand and communicate with our partners? How do our partners like love us? There's a thing called the love languages, which I absolutely love. And once we communicate in that, we can become better partners, and we can love our partners more, and we can understand them more and have better communication. Once we have better communication, we have less arguments, less stress, and less stress means less emotional eating as well. So I haven't even, here it is, emotional eating.
I think we all do emotional eating, don't we, Ollie?
Everyone does it. And I think that if people didn't do emotional eating, if they told you that, they'd be lying. So if people celebrate birthdays, they're celebrating. It's an emotion, right? They feel happy. So we eat that. It's around families we eat, but a lot of people go deeper into it. And there's a whole section and a whole task that I'm going to be doing on emotional eating. And I want to have as many people on this call as possible. And naturally, we're going to be eating the foods that you feel that you emotionally are attached to. So just to see why we have that, and it's super, super powerful when we do that. But business stress, like Matt and I, we both run businesses, and it's great, and we have great connections with people. We make some, we have some amazing results, and we make some great impact. But it can be stressful. Like when we look at time away from family, when we look at the side of things of growing the business, of getting to that next level, it can be stressful. So we have to recognize that that's a stressor. Children can be stressful, as in, like, if your children are waking you up at night, then that's out of your control. But what a lot of people can potentially do is that we say, I can't sleep during the night because my children always wake me up. What is the best thing you could do? What is the closest you can get? How can you optimize around that? How can you get a little bit of sleep elsewhere? Because again, like, it's not always like if you're eating your food and you're at a restaurant and there's food left over, I'm tempted to go and eat your kids' leftovers because you're paying for it. But is that really going to be your best interest if you're getting into self-love of eating their leftovers? Now, self-love, the big one. How do we actually love ourselves? When we look in the mirror and we see this reflection looking back at ourselves, can we actually say that we're loving ourselves? And if not, is that linked with trauma in the past? The same with the romantic relationships, the same with the business, the same with all the other side of things. Like, how is our past life traumas, how are our past traumas in life impacting us now, which is massive, especially when it comes to this limbic system and the vagus nerve, when it comes to all these other things down here as well. Financial stress, we have to recognize that. Media, what are we actually absorbing in the media when it comes to watching the news? Bad news sells, good news doesn't sell as much. So we're going to see that we're bombarded with so much bad news. And especially if you're watching the news at 10 o'clock at night, just before you go to bed, imagine what that's doing to your sleep, to this time when you're supposed to be restoring and loving yourself and recharging. It can have a massive impact. It's not to say don't ever watch the news. I personally don't watch the news, and I've noticed myself a lot less anxiety as a result, but that being aware of the news and watching the news and being in control of when this stuff is actually going to be fed to you is more powerful than just watching it constantly all the time. And the same with friends, like making sure that you have good friends around you, having that community around you to support you. They say you're the average of the 5 people around you. And that is so, so true. And I know that having this supportive network myself has helped me grow my business to amazing levels and helped me deal with stress. So looking through these things, as we say, we've got the autoimmune condition side of things, we've got the physical stress, we've got the emotional stress. The revitalization blueprint, we want to make sure that we're covering as much of this stuff as possible to go through what you need to eat to help yourself deal with stress, what lifestyle factors we can take into account. Do we look at supplementation? How can we improve flare-ups of autoimmune conditions? Can we improve your gut health? How can we improve your sleep? And all other factors that really, really, really we wanted to help you improve your health. So I don't know if there's any questions, Matt, but if you guys want to know more about Revitalization Blueprint, we're going to be doing calls every 2 weeks, starting from next Wednesday at 7 p.m.
That's the 3rd of May, isn't it, Ollie?
Revitalizationblueprint.com. What was that? Sorry?
That's the 3rd of May, just in case people are watching this on replay. It's the 3rd of May. Wednesday,
yeah.
the 3rd of May.
Wednesday the 3rd, 7 p.m. Now, it isn't time sensitive. So you can jump in if you see this a couple of weeks later. All calls are recorded. And as we go through as well, we want to be open to answering questions. So if you have a question, our first call is going to be talking about goals and how we set our goals. So say we get 3 calls down the line and you have a question on goals, we're still going to be answering it. It's not a case of like, oh, we had that topic like that. We're still going to be able to be there, as I say, support each other through this, people be in the messenger group. And the powerful thing as well is that if you do sign up before the 3rd of May, before our first call, you will get the 21-day Brain Fog Blitz course absolutely free. It's a £21 course. So it's not a much expense course, but it's got 17 powerful videos that will take you through how to really get rid of any of that brain fog that you may get, which isn't necessarily down to age, isn't necessarily down to menopause. It's a lot to do with this S word, stress, and how can we actually get our body to thrive.
Brilliant.
Any questions, Matt?
There isn't any at the moment. We've had plenty of people watching, which is fantastic. So I'm really pleased about that. But yeah, just to go over what Ollie said, really, you know, stress, it sounds horrible, but stress is the silent killer. And if we're stressed and we've been stressed for a long time, it can only get worse. So, you know, it's important for us to get stress under control. And again, you spoke about it really well. If anyone's got any questions, to say comment below. You can message me or Ollie direct. And as I say, as you can see on the top of the notice board, the revitalization blueprint, that is where you want to head over to. Have a look. And if you want to be part of this group going forwards, if you want to improve your health, reduce the stress, me and Ollie can help you. As I say, Ollie's created an amazing platform. I've managed to have a look at it myself. There's a lot of knowledge in there that we don't have. So I would say jump on this now, guys. It's a good time to get involved, and let us help you.
Cool.
I think that's probably about everything, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, just drop us a message if you have any questions with this. As we say, it's £21 a month, but it's an ongoing thing. But I would recommend being in there for at least 3 to 4 months to really absorb some information and allow you to start improving your health. And if there's a topic in there that doesn't look like it's being covered, message us, go in the questions and answers. This is a very flexible topic timeline, where if something's like 7th call and everyone wants it on the 2nd call, we will do that. And I will allow, like, we will move and switch the topics around to make it flexible to the people that want it, to you guys that are in the group that want it. So I'm looking forward to being able to launch this and see as many of you there as possible.
Thanks, Ollie, mate. That's really, really good. I'm glad we've done this tonight. So as I say, any questions, guys, you know what to do. Comment below. You can drop us a message. If you can ask you all to share this video on your Facebook page, because there's going to be plenty of people out there crying out for help. They're not going to be feeling their best. And if we get these things right, we improve them, we can get on top of the stress, we can improve our health. And that is pretty much it. So thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day, your evening, and I'm sure we'll speak to you all again soon. Thanks, Ollie, mate.
Take care.
Bye-bye.